there everybody. Guess what? Well, hey there everybody. We're live. Guess what? Well, hey there everybody. We're going to get rid of that echo. We had a bit of an echo there. But we are live. There we go. I've got rid of the echo. It's been one of those mornings, well, afternoon now, guys, because it is 1 o'clock, where things haven't quite gone to plan, but we're here anyway. Hi, everybody. I am Dan Edge. As always, I am joined by my lovely podcast wife. I've pointed in the wrong direction again. Samantha Renk, who is currently waving her lunch at you. This is the kind of day it is. But we're here. We are live. It is Life DownLow'ed. We had a bit of an echo because I was trying to sort tech stuff out. Twitter's not worked like it was supposed to work today. But the link is on Twitter. We are on Twitch for the first time ever.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
No.
Okay.
No. And can I just say, for anyone who's watching you, I don't normally bring my lunch to the podcast recordings because that's really unprofessional. But as Dan has said, it's been one of those weird days where nothing has quite gone to plan. I've actually blocked myself in just before we went live. Someone came to deliver something, and I had a really big delivery from Amazon earlier. I bought myself one of them robot vacuum cleaners.
Oh, now I'm jealous.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like the top of the range because I'm not that flush. But yeah, so that arrived. But Amazon, I need to put a sign on the door. They always put it right outside the door. So as a wheelchair user, that is infuriating because I am essentially blocked. Fire hazard. Amazon, if you're listening, I have told you about this on a number of occasions. So I somehow this morning managed to drag the box into the hallway, but it's kind of just like being left there. So I am now still blocked in my own home. So yeah, I just had to explain that to the guy delivering my parcel. And they go, huh? What? Huh? I should just say I'm naked. Sorry, I'm naked. Can't open the door.
Maybe that would work.
That's the way forward.
Or we need to get you one of those smart doorbells that you can just answer on your phone and be like, please leave it there.
See, I am naked. Hey.
Yeah, hey.
Hey. Oh my God, yeah, maybe I can. I wonder whether I can expense that as a business expense, considering I am working from home.
Possibly.
Hey, Marcy, I hope you're not listening.
Well, everybody thinks Amazon listens, so you never know.
You never know. Amazon. Is it like Beetlejuice? If you say their name,
they appear.
Then they appear.
Who knows?
Also,
Who knows?
Another brilliant film.
Oh, Beetlejuice. I haven't seen Beetlejuice in a long time. For those that are interested, it's currently on sale on iTunes.
I think I've got it on a DVD. How retro am I? Beetlejuice.
The fact that DVDs are now retro does make me feel slightly old.
Yeah. And what is that? What is that meme about? Like a cassette and a pencil. They were like, you'll only know the special friendship.
Oh yeah.
The pencil.
As in an audio cassette. Yeah.
Yeah, audio cassette. Old school. Used to be. Do you remember Talk Boys? Do you remember Talk Boy?
I do, from Home Alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a Talk Boy. I was cool.
Oh, see, I always wanted one, never had one.
Yeah, it's all right because I always wanted one of them play kitchens. You know, never got one.
Oh no!
So swings and roundabouts, isn't it really? And then I was obsessed with the Little Mermaid. Don't think that the irony is not lost on me. A girl that drinks to walk. I genuinely just liked dolphins. I think that's where I was going with that one. But yeah, I remember one Christmas, and it was always the case. And you know when they say, oh, you might as well just give a child a box because they'd be happy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know in your household, but for Christmas, we were always allowed to ask for one big present. And then we'll get kind of like small little gifts. And then me and my sister would get maybe 2 or 3 things that we had to share. So like a cassette player, like a VCH, you know? But my big request that Christmas was a Little Mermaid. It was like it was a Barbie doll or a doll, you know, that looked like her. And it was like an underwater house for her. So like you had like a sheet of plastic, which was like supposed to be the surface of the water. And then underneath it had like her bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, That is literally all I wanted. But you should. So on the advert, you should be able to like get the doll and poke her head up through. There's supposed to be a little hole put out where you can poke her head up.
Okay, up into the surface world. Yeah.
So that was the appeal for me, aged 8. Okay, that was the main appeal. Come Christmas Day, I got it. Thanks, Santa. But there was a slight defect. They'd forgotten to cut out the hole in the plastic.
Oh no!
And it ruined Christmas for me.
Oh no!
Ruined Christmas. I am scarred for life.
God.
Absolutely scarred for life.
God damn Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it actually hurts me just talking about it right now. But yeah, that was my Christmas disaster. Apart from that, my sister always used to show me before Christmas what I was going to get. Anyone who's got an older sister or sibling will know that they can be cruel, evil people when you're younger. And she used to get the presents from underneath my mum and dad's bed, because that's where Santa hides them. And yeah, show me. And she'd go, just act surprised on Christmas Day. Now you are a only child, no? Dan, you never had this?
I'm not an only child. I have older sisters, but because of family arrangements, I was the only child at home. My sisters were that much older than me, so it wasn't a big. Why
did I not know this?
I don't know. You should know this. I'm sure we've had this conversation. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So I was technically the only child at home. So yeah, I didn't really have that. And my sister was so much older than me anyway. You know, not that I'm saying my sister is old at all. Not that she watches regularly, but just in case she tunes in, you are not old. Sister.
What do you mean your sister isn't watching you all the time?
Well, you know, she has busy lives, busy people. But yeah, so I didn't quite have that. But yeah, like, I remember various Christmases. I can't believe we're talking about Christmas in April.
I love Christmas though. I mean, it can't come round fast enough. I'm a big Christmas person.
You and me both. Now, my girlfriend, not so much. So no. She kind of tolerates me around the Christmas period.
Oh, see, yeah. I mean, I throw up Christmas, and it just like, you know, I've got a little tiny flat in London, and I last year decided that one Christmas tree wasn't enough. I'm going to buy another one and have it in my bedroom.
There you go.
I've got space for that. You know, it's fine when it's out, but then when you actually have to pack it away and go,
where do you store all your Christmas decks when it's not Christmas? Yeah, that is the challenge. That is the challenge.
We haven't described ourselves, so anyone who is
visually impaired.
So I don't even know whether I want to describe myself because I'm in a little bit of a state right now. You've washed your hair. I haven't.
I have washed my hair. Hence why my curls are so luscious and bouncy.
I know, right? We are both blondies, aren't we? So I've got my hair up in a messy bun, got my glasses on, absolutely zero makeup on, and I'm wearing. Do you know what? So I've got this T-shirt. I've got a T-shirt with a lion on it. So it's
a
grey.
tiger, my dear.
Oh, shut up. Semantics, okay? It's the same thing. A big cat, okay?
A big cat, that's true.
I've got a big cat on my top. But can you see, like here, I've got little flecks, and it looks like toothpaste, but it's actually part of the design. And part of me's like, that just looks like I've not been able to clean myself properly, and I've got my dinner down me. So that was a bit of that's H&M. H&M. I knew you were trying to be like cool and trendy, but it just makes me look like I've missed my teeth and missed my mouth.
Well, you know, we've all done it. But I'd just like to say that I am quite grateful that you have confirmed the fact that I am blonde today, because over the weekend, my girlfriend and I were having a rather good-natured argument about the fact of whether I was blonde or brown-haired.
You're a blondie.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Podwife, because
You're sandy blonde.
This was my point of argument that I am blonde, but quite often I get told I'm not, and I say to people,
you are sandy blonde. Hey, let's ask Kieran. We need to ask Kieran, my hairstylist. He'll tell the world, right?
Indeed. Well, Kieran is the lovely man that helped me tame these crazy curls. And I put a picture up on Instagram the other day. saying, you know, my barber's going to have his work cut out when I actually go see him, and he proceeded to message me rather quickly going, no, keep the curls.
So Kieran said that.
Yeah.
Kieran just wants in your pants. I think that's all it is, Dan. He probably just likes the curls.
Well, apparently quite a few people do. I never saw the results of the survey we put up on Instagram. Do we?
Oh my goodness! I have to try and find it. You know, I'm like the worst technophobe ever. But speaking of technology, can I make an announcement before I try and find
Go for it.
If I can actually find it. So my official website is now up and running. It's been a long time coming.
Woo.
The amazing creative designer that is Vicky McFarlane. You can go and look at her on social media. She has designed everything from my business card to I've got a lovely banner that I was going to use the banner for like to prop up in front of where we are, but it didn't quite work the other day when I did it. So I thought I'm not going to use it, but it's like a banner safe. But I do a lot of keynote speaking, so I can take it with me if I do an event, which is kind of cute. And she's done my logo and she's done my website. Now I say it's a long time coming because I really wanted to get some new headshots and new pictures for the website, and obviously, you know, lockdown and life, you know, got kind of put on hold. And I was like, Samantha, don't be a snob, because that's all it was, me being a snob. Don't kind of like hang about until you've got some new pictures. So yeah, so trying to kind of over emails and get a website sorted has been a little bit stressful. You know, you're going back and forth, but it's finally there. So it is SamanthaRankOfficial.com. So you can go check it out. I have tried to ensure that it is completely inclusive. So we've got lots of features on there. If you're dyslexic, if you're visually impaired, you know, all sorts of different font style texts, and you can have a play around with it. So and I've put closed captions on the video that's on there of my show reel. So hopefully I have done you all proud. But I would love some feedback. If you have got access requirements, you know, I would love you to go on to SamanthaRankOfficial.com and have a play around with it, I suppose, and tell me what you think of it.
What needs working and what doesn't. What works. It's really nice.
It's consolidated everything on there. So that's exciting. So I'm going to do, once we finish here, I'm going to do a little post on Instagram about it. But yeah, I'm really happy, and thank you to Vicky who put up with my moaning, going, actually, I don't like that picture. Can I have that picture? Actually, I don't like that picture. Can we go back to that picture? Actually, Vicky, I really like the first picture. That picture. That was 6 months of that. So yeah.
Well, I've just had a bit of a nosy round Samantha Rank Official because you told me it went live.
Oh, baby.
I feel like it's a bit like the lovely Dr. Amy Kavanagh who comes in and watches the podcast when she's available too. I feel like I'm always going to have to full name your website, SamanthaRankOfficial.com.
Yeah, obviously.
So yeah. And it is a very nice site, and it honestly, I mean, I've built mine myself, and mine is by no means as accessible as yours, and it does make me feel a little bit guilty. It really does. In the fact that, you know, in the accessibility competition, it's phenomenally accessible, and mine just isn't. So well done team at SamanthaRankOfficial.com.
So I'm going to share the results. 71% said yes, 29% said no.
Oh, so you see
that right now.
That's a 71%.
Controversial.
71% of people say I should keep the curls.
Yeah, so I think that's that, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and my girlfriend will be most pleased because she is a fan. But she'll be most pleased that the Life DownLow'ed universe agrees with her.
I love it. I can't wait to get mine done. I'm hopefully going to be filming next week. So I've kind of asked Kieran if he's available to come on my porch. And we can sit out on my porch. Or
on your roof garden.
On my roof garden and do my hair. That's totally allowed, no?
It's outside.
Totally. So yeah. So that's that. But I and I've even booked in for a pedicure on Saturday. Someone's coming to my house, but we might again do it on my porch. I've got my visor and I've got everything, so I've got full PPE. But I just feel like I need something just to kind of make me feel a bit more normal again. And I don't think I've realised how much cabin fever has impacted me until I went out yesterday. I've not been out for a while. The last time I went out was for a dentist appointment, which I don't think counts.
No, that's a medical thing. That's not life. That's a horrible medical thing.
That's just like crappy stuff. So I went out, and I'm normally a wheelchair user. No, I am a wheelchair user.
You are a wheelchair user. It's not normally. Today I've decided no. Just casual. No, but I am a full-time wheelchair user, and 99% of the time I am a manual chair user, and I've only recently got a power chair with some hesitance, and I know we've spoken about this on the podcast before. I think it's a very ableist kind of view that once you get a power chair, your life is going to be revolutionizing. You are going to be completely independent, whereas actually I feel more privileged as a manual chair user in the sense that getting public transport with a manual chair is easier. Even if you go to a restaurant and it's got one step in, someone can just lift you in, or someone can help you get in. Even a couple of steps. You cannot do that with a power chair. No one is going to lift you. Exactly. And I again, looking at the differences between manual chairs and power chairs, there was a picture I saw on Twitter, that lovely thing that gives us all our source material every week, of a power chair user who went somewhere and they had a lift, an accessibility lift, but on the lift it said, "No power chairs, please."
Wow, what? Where was this?
It was in
this country?
Yes, in this country, in a hospital, I believe. Which is hilarious.
What? Because of the weight?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, I get it, but I don't get it.
Sandra's joined us as usual. Hello, Sandra. Nice to see you.
Hi, Sandra, love.
And she says it was a hospital, so she's obviously seen the same.
I need to get on Twitter more because you guys all seem to be in the know. I just find it a really vapid place. So I kind of only dip in and out of it, normally to rant myself, which is kind of hypocritical. But when I run, it's with proper purpose.
Yes, purposeful ranting. Purposeful ranting.
I just say, this happened last time. When I came in this corner of my room, I got really nasally. And it's happened again. And I'm just trying to look in my room. What the freaking hell have I got in this corner that is making me bung up? And I just don't get it. Anyway, that is not the point of what we're talking about. But I do apologise.
You never know what direction a Life Downloaded is going to go.
It sounds like I've been on a bender. I've been putting cocaine up my nose for the past 48 hours, which I really, really haven't. Although, talking about brushing your teeth, I got toothpaste on my nose the other day, and it really did look like I've been dabbling in some sort of extra. It was mortifying. So it can happen. That's because this bit between my lip and my nose is really, really tiny.
Gotcha.
See?
Bear with me. I'm just sorting out my lights because I've just realised it's gone very dark. But yes, toothpaste on your nose.
I'm just like an angel glowing in light. I took my power chair out. This is where the story was going. And then I did some shopping. I actually went for a drink with my PA, al fresco.
Al fresco, outdoors, yeah.
Al fresco. And then as I was crossing a very busy street, as I was about to mount the curb, I just got up the next curb, my wheelchair went, nope, gear stick out of joint, and it completely cut out.
Oh, wow.
Completely. Literally inches away from a busy, I don't know if anyone knows London, so Old Street Roundabout, which is
wow.
One of the busiest.
Yeah, I know Old Street Roundabout.
Ever. So that was absolutely terrifying. Luckily, I was with my PA who managed to put the chair into override. You can push it, but again, it's a bit of a beast to push.
I was going to say your power chair and power chairs generally aren't light animals. They are the rhinoceroses of the wheelchair world generally.
Absolutely. And I do want to note, she was faffing around, having a look at all the, to make sure no cable has come loose. Like you say, I was there for an hour. It was really cold. I didn't have a jacket. Kind of my own fault, but I was like, I'm 5 minutes from home and it's sunny. But where I got stuck, it was really cold, like with no sun. No one stopped, No one kind of like came over. Apparently, my lips went blue at one point because it was that cold. We called our local police station and fire brigade. No one picked up. And I just say, hello? Wow. Emergency services, like what, because what do you do in that situation? I went to Twitter. A lot of people asked whether I had insurance. No, I didn't have insurance. I wasn't really aware there was that form of insurance.
No, I've got to be honest. I didn't know like wheelchair insurance was a thing.
Like an AA insurance, like they will come and pick you up and drop you home.
Oh wow! No, I definitely didn't know that.
No, so I didn't either. But then equally, I was a little bit like, okay, don't make me feel bad in my hour of need. Don't make me feel ignorant. But I was shocked by, because what would you do? What would you do? You say if you were on your own. I was with my PA, and she could go back to my house, get my manual chair, bring it back, but we'd still need someone to stay with the power chair or help her get the power chair back. Yeah. The people that provided me with the chair, they weren't answering any phone numbers that I had. So I was out there for about an hour, which was, stressful.
Yeah, understandably.
I mean, I don't know what you do. I was contemplating ringing 999, and then I was like, well, if I was on my own, I think I would have done. What would you actually do?
This is the thing. I mean, you were fortunate that, you weren't on your own at that point.
No.
And yeah, I don't know what you do. I mean, hope, there'd be part of me that says call on a passerby, but then that's challenging because if nobody's around,
well, even then, for them to do what? Because for me, I couldn't, like, the roads are so bad that there's only specific ways I could get home because of the curbs.
Yeah.
So say if it would take normally 5 minutes to get to my home, it's taking 15, 20 minutes because I have to
You've got to go the long way around, yeah.
So you can't expect a bystander to kind of push a heavy power chair. I don't know. I mean, I would have definitely, if I was on my own, I would have called 999. I'm sorry. Whether people might not agree with me, but I think if anything's an emergency, then that's a bloody emergency. Because even calling like a taxi where I was in London, things like that, that's not that easy. As in, they can only park in certain areas.
Yeah.
You can't. And
even then, with the big heavy power chair, if it's not moving, they've still got to get it into the taxi.
Yeah, and a lot of cabbies can rightly so refuse to do that because of health and safety. It's not really fair to make them, do that. So yeah, that was a really terrifying experience. However, I have been chatting to. Let me bring up the company's name because my memory is quite shocking at the minute. Where Mark Bates. So Mark Bates is a company. I believe they have personal life experience of having disabilities or their family members. So I feel like that they know their stuff, but they have a service where they have people that will come and pick you and drop you off, and it's they won't rely on accessible taxi firms or anything. I believe they've actually got vehicles out, specifically for that. So that was kind of really reassuring. So I am going to be doing some promo for them, and they're going to be helping me get some insurance.
And if it's all the more reassuring for you, Sandra says that's who her insurance is with.
Yay!
Insurance sisters. Hey.
Yay! Yeah, so that's really good. But I think there's not enough out there. And I think I was a little bit upset by how blasé the disability community were. Not towards me. They were very sympathetic towards me. And I had a lot of people give me, really send me supportive messages and even check up on me that I've got home. And I'm really grateful for that. I meant blasé, as in other power chair users going, oh yeah, it's happened to me. It's happened to me in a road. It's happened to me. I mean, that's not it. Like, my chair cost £9,500.
Yeah. I think, rightly or wrongly, it's very much a case of until, it's a new experience for you because you're not a regular power chair user. And I think it just goes to show, rightly or wrongly, I would say wrongly, what disabled people on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, whatever time period we're going to put on it, have accepted that it's acceptable to put up with, when looking at it from an outsider's perspective, we shouldn't accept that. We shouldn't have to, but we do.
But I think that goes for everything with regards to disability. All of us seem to have to learn the hard way. And I get what you're saying, because I've had a few comments going, well, at least you know now, or at least you've experienced that, at least you were with someone, at least you know. But again, my point is exactly what you said. It's pretty shit that we have to learn that way. Like, I am actually grateful that happened. I know what to do now, and I was with someone. I wasn't on my own.
Yeah.
But what a really traumatic, stressful, anxiety-inducing way to have to experience these life experiences. You know, if you'd say, right, we threw a 3-year-old into a pond to see whether they swam, and they did, because that's how kids should learn to swim. Like, everyone would be mortified. Like, you can't do that.
No.
You know, you can't just. But that's how I feel as a disabled person constantly. You know, just being thrown in without a safety net.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it is a great, you know, it's one of those things that a great problem that disabled people have to put up with. It's like, you know, it adds to that list of things that should be accessible, and shows, you know, fits into the social model and the fact that the world isn't built for disabled people. And we talk about this all the time on the podcast, but the fact that we can talk about it so often about so many different things shows you how inaccessible the world is. And yeah, you know, do you now plan as a power chair user, and I'm not a power chair user, I'm a manual chair user in the main. I walk, or I'm in a manual chair. Do you plan as a power chair user to take somebody with you every time, just in case your chair goes wrong? Now, that you shouldn't be in that.
That negates the reason why I got it.
Yeah, that negates the reason for the power chair.
I mean, I have not got strong upper body strength, so I can. If I'm in a shopping centre, like Westfield Centre, I can wheel myself. I go there on my own. I'm independent. I can do all that.
Yeah, because their floors are lovely, smooth marble,
and they've
easy
got
to push
bathrooms, on. But under normal circumstances, I struggle getting up and down curbs. I've had quite a few falls out of my chair, so I'm quite an anxious wheelchair pusher. So if I'm in my manual chair, I normally have someone pushing me.
Gotcha.
The whole point of getting a power chair was to give me more freedom.
Yeah.
And, you know, we spoke last podcast about, you know, me having to find a new PA, not really receiving a whole lot of hours a week. So for someone to assist me. And, you know, the power chair was supposed to be for the days where I don't have any support and I run out of milk or I need to do something, you know, I can use the power chair. And if I'm completely honest, and this isn't necessarily a reflection on the chair, you know, because I think technology is wonderful. It's more to do with the environment, you know. The chair was what happened yesterday. That was because I hadn't lowered it correctly. All the way down. However, my argument is no one ever told me that had to happen, and I'd just been in the shop all the way around with it high up. So it must have been I got over a certain speed and it just cut out.
Okay.
I'm a little bit like, surely you should just say lower the chair. There should be some sort of alarm before it just completely cuts out, you know?
Ideally, from a design perspective, maybe that's something to pitch to the manufacturer.
Absolutely, but on other occasions, it's more being, you know, drop curbs that have stopped me, you know, like too high, or wet. The leaves on the road have made me skid. So it's been, you know, kind of external factors, and I've absolutely lost my confidence with it, and I feel really, really annoyed because I have been trying to push myself, taking it out and finding different routes. And unfortunately, the thing is, when you live in a city, every 5 minutes you've got roadworks. Well, this road is closed, that road's closed. So you may have, you know, like I may have mapped out a really safe route to get to somewhere, and then all of a sudden, like you'll go there and you're like, nope, I have to turn back around because they've closed off the road. So it is a freaking nightmare, and sympathy to everyone out there who's battled the same. And I think this is why I get really, really annoyed when I've had friends go, oh, just use your power chair. Isn't it great? Oh, I don't need to push you anymore. Like, you know, like, oh, you're going to be completely independent. It's like, oh, not really, though. Not really.
You know, and for many people, power chairs are massively liberating. Like, we're not down in power chairs on any level, but it's the perception that one thing is a cure-all for everybody, and that's never the case, because disability, much like, and impairments, much like the people that have them, are all different.
Yeah.
And what works for one person isn't going to work for all the other people. And yeah, it's one of those.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, just to balance the scales, you know, my bathroom is a wet room, but I don't have a shower chair. So you can have a shower chair that is mounted to the wall where you sit in the shower, so it comes down like a drop down.
They're my favourites. I have one of those. Yeah.
But then you can have a shower chair, as in a proper propelled wheelchair, which is waterproof, so that you can go into the shower itself. But I couldn't do that because I struggled to transfer, and I don't have enough room in my bathroom. So I have to physically wheel this chair that I'm in now really close into the shower and transfer onto the little flip down chair. Yep. But what that means is it gets wet, and that means that it rusts the chair. Yep. So I've had a lot of problems with my manual chair with the front wheels, caster wheels snapping and doing everything. So there's, you know, not everything has a downside, and nothing's ideal, again, because we live in such a disabling world. But I think exactly what your point you were making is, I think the perception is infuriating. And I'm actually really glad that my PA has been out with me on these occasions, because she has seen, you know, these barriers firsthand. And when I have my little moan and when I have my panic attack, you know, I don't get this kind of, oh, okay, Sam, you know, brushed off, whatever, you're being dramatic, which I know a lot of people do when I do have my kind of panics about going out independently, because they just don't understand why I'm not doing it more often. No. But when you're out there and that happens, and it's like, shit, what do we do? You know, it kind of brings it home, and you know, it's like, well, would you freak out if that happened to you? Oh yeah. And
and, you know, even as a manual chair user, you know, fortunately I can walk some distance, not a huge amount, but you know, I can cover some ground. So if something went wrong with my chair, I am not completely stuck. But I can think of like 2-3 occasions straight off the top of my head that even with the manual chair, you know, I've been in my chair and things have gone wrong. Thankfully, other people have been around, much like yourself. But I was on my way. Where was I going? I was off to rehearsals for a theatre show with the lovely Proteus Theatre Company a couple of years ago, and I was pushing to the overground station to get the train because I was in London, and I took my chair through new laid pathway. They'd like re-tarmac the pathway, and my front caster snapped completely off. Snapped in half and completely disappeared. Thankfully, somebody saw me that was local. I wasn't with anybody at this point, but somebody saw me that was local and could see that my wheel had snapped off, and he had enough local knowledge to go, look, there's a car garage round the corner. He literally carried my chair to the car garage, and the guys in the garage reattached my caster so I could at least wheel home. Like,
crazy.
That's the good nature of people. But I was stuck with a snapped caster, and you know, you've mentioned before how expensive wheelchairs are. It's not like I could get up, leave my chair, walk somewhere.
This is what I was saying. In London, that'll get snapped up straight away. You know, like that'll be gone before you even blinked an eye. Yeah. That happened to me with my old manual chair. My caster wheel did exactly the same. I was in the house, and obviously, not to say who's the biggest victim here, but I have got brittle bones, so for me to come out my chair be a little bit more damaging than yourself, Dan.
Indeed.
And I just remember balancing, because because obviously I'm on three
wheels. Yeah.
I was balancing just on
Like
my table.
Like a really dodgy stool. Yeah.
You know, again, I called what they called Red Cross. I called all different people, and even you know, to a wheelchair hire place, and even they said they couldn't get anything out for me for a whole day. And I was like, how do I get to the bathroom or do anything? And luckily, I mean, I dragged myself to the sofa and got off on the sofa. But even being able to access, you know, to let people in, and I think at that point I didn't even have a key safe, you know, to help me. It was just, you know, I mean, hats off. I know people go on about, you know, like even I talk a lot about inspiration porn and objectifying disabled people and seeing us as these inspirations, or seeing us as resilient. But actually, sometimes I'm like, fuck yeah, we are resilient.
Yeah.
Because if you were to give this to any other person on any given day, and then expect them to go to work, or then expect them to be a parent on top of it, which again disabled people do, a lot of them would be having a major meltdown. I mean, we see it now with the pandemic, and this isn't to belittle anyone who's struggling, but you know, like for me or you know, isolation or having coming face to face with challenges or dramatic change, is just part and part of life. And not to say that we all go tra-la-la, this is amazing, we're just getting on with it. You know, I mean, yesterday I felt absolutely drained, and I feel exhausted today, and it takes a lot out of me. But yeah, you know, there's so much, and this is again why we really need to push for people with disabilities getting better jobs and being in roles that are higher up the chain, because the resilience and the kind of quick thinking. I should have been on that. Is it SS? What is it called? That Who Dares Wins?
Oh yeah. SAS, Who Dares Wins.
I was like, freaking put me on.
I'd love to see you in the SAS, that would be amazing.
Run in some water, I'll be fine.
But
swim, but I'll be alright. I'll do it.
You know, again, not belittling anybody, but the amazing Frances Ryan, who is a disabled journalist, she writes for The Guardian, she's written her own books and so on and so forth, put out a tweet the other day, excuse me, saying that she was somewhat having a sort of a Schadenfreude moment, so sort of enjoying people sort of realising bad stuff about people complaining that, you know, they had to book to go to the pub or to a restaurant, and they had to plan and only be there when so many people were there. And she was like, disabled people do this all the time. The time. And then we have to talk to the waiter on the phone for half an hour and still find out when we get to the place, even though we've been told it is, that it isn't accessible. And it's like, so yeah, she took a little bit of joy in not people struggling, because that's not good for anybody, but just the parity and the realisation. Oh, Sam's been distracted.
Sorry, just keep chatting. I need to feed the cat. One sec. I'll be back in a minute.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the new weekly point of the podcast where I am your sole host. This has happened 3 weeks on the trot now, so I'm getting quite used to it. So Dan's thought for the day. No, I genuinely don't have a thought for the day. But it's true, Sandra, reading your comments on YouTube, that, yeah, we innovate and come up with solutions to stuff all the time. Because we have to. And I think, you know, going back to Sam's comments on perseverance, that's very much it. And I'm glad you've ordered a shower bench and it's safer than the chair. Safety is always key, because, you know, we like our audience here at Life DownLow'ed, and we don't want you to injure yourselves or whatever. Sam is currently feeding Bruno. I'm now filling space, so I'm going to do a dance. No. But yeah, it really is interesting. You know, I didn't know, like we said, until yesterday, that there was... Sam is a bit of a mad cat lady. There she is, in all her full glory.
Sorry about that, but my little baby kitten, he's still a kitten. He's only 11 months old. He's still a kitten until he's like 1. He's been sleeping all day, and he's not had much food. So I thought, yeah, he started crying, and his cry really sounds like a baby, and I just can't help myself. So, apologies,
Those
everyone.
cats have you wrapped around their little finger, Miss Rank.
And I wouldn't want it any other way. But my friend was like, they're ruined. They're ruined.
They are
Your
ruined.
cats are ruined.
But
I love that expression.
To be fair, my lovely lady is also a cat lady, and some would argue that her cats are ruined. But, you know...
Are you saying this, Danny boy?
Would I?
Potentially.
Would I? No. No. But her cats are very well looked after, and they drive me crazy. But they're all right, really. And
that's fine. They can be a pain in the arse. I'm not going to lie to you. To be quite honest, I was really happy to get out the house, even though yesterday with the whole chair debacle, just being out the house and away from the cats. Because I think because I'm spending so much time at home, and this is true to anyone at the moment, because lockdown, etc. Who has a pet. I think they more now than anything feel like I am like a cat, or you know what I mean, or more attached to me. I am part of their little pack. So they crave my attention much more. So I think it was healthy for both of us to have a little bit of a break from one another.
Healthy for your relationship to have separate interests and time apart.
This is the thing, when I'm not there, they just sleep. I'm like, why can't you do that when I'm doing work?
Because that would be helpful.
Common sense, yeah.
That would be helpful. And what I have learnt about cats is, through my time of spending time with my lovely lady and her collective of felines, is... Oh, Sam is talking to a cat again. Here we go.
Sorry.
Her collective of felines is that cats run on cat schedule. Cats do not run on human schedule at all. There's Bruno, look. There he is, in all his glory.
In all his nakedness.
Indeed. Hey Bruno, welcome to Life DownLow'ed.
Life DownLow'ed.
Those of you that are listening on the podcast, Bruno is a Sphinx cat, if you're not already aware. He is pink and furless.
That's a lie, actually. They've got like tiny little peach fuzz.
That's true. They do have a bit of peach fuzz going on. And according to my girlfriend, Bruno has the best cat knuckles ever.
Yeah, I know. They're like little fingers.
Yeah.
So I posted a picture because I do have their own Instagram at Lady Lola and Lord Bruno.
There you go, Lady Lola and Lord Bruno, if you missed that.
Yeah.
At Lady Lola and Lord Bruno.
I mean, they've both got over 1,000 followers, which is crazy.
I know. This is the thing. Your cats are about 500 followers behind me. And
potentially been on TV more times than you. My cats have been on TV quite a few times now. Like, literally. No, I'm not even joking, because everyone wants to know. And then when they find out how unusual they are, they're like, oh, give us some pictures and we'll put them on air. So I think they've been on Jeremy Vine twice now, and they've been on BBC Morning Live once. They're famous cats.
Wow. See,
but I mean that's that. I mean, they are my choice.
What does that say? What does that say about my 12-year career?
I don't
Your
know.
cats, one of which is 11 months old, has been on TV more than me. Oh man.
Yeah, what can I say? Can you imagine if I had a child? They would already be like on Broadway, wouldn't they?
They would, knowing you.
Here you go, child. Be away. On that note, I think we should quit, because my TV's gone off, and the birds that keep them. I put birds on YouTube to keep them stimulated. Yeah, that's gone off now, and it looks like it's going to piss it down with rain.
Apparently, according to Sandra, I need to be a cat. I'm sure my girlfriend.
Make that happen.
I'm sure my girlfriend would quite happily house a fifth cat. She keeps arguing. So, like, who am I? Maybe. Who knows?
And it's sort of your misses about Lola seems to have been. They've kind of had a bit of a falling out. What do her cats have fallings out?
Oh yeah.
They were making progress, and now all of a sudden they don't particularly like one another. So I put all the Airwick things in, like the Feliway smelly.
Oh yeah, the cat.
Got all that.
Air freshness.
And is that quite common? I'm assuming so because they're animals.
Oh yeah, like her cats scrap with each other on a daily basis.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. They're not that bad.
No, like they try and wrestle each other every day. Like.
No, but how do you know whether it's plain or whether it's I hate your guts, get out of my house?
I shall put you in contact with my lovely lady. She will be able to inform you.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Right, I do need a wee. Hurrah!
Hey, the usual marker for the end of an episode of Life DownLow'ed has occurred. Sam's bladder is full. So, ladies and gentlemen, Sandra's name in this episode, Luscious Locks and Crazy Cat Lady.
Yay!
There we go. That'll be the name for this episode when I edit it up. If you want to catch up on the episodes previous, look for Life DownLow'ed on Spotify, iTunes, all the podcasty type platforms. Have a listen, catch up on stuff we've spoken about before. I am Dan Edge. My lovely podcast wife, and I've pointed in the right direction this time, is Samantha Renk.
Hurrah!
This has been Life DownLow'ed. We'll probably see you in about a week or so, give or take. You never know with us.
Aye.
We try and be consistent, but it doesn't always work. So until that point, look after yourselves, stay safe, say hi to everybody. If you've just been released, keep social distancing and all that stuff. But you know, enjoy your time outside as well. Don't drink too much.
Nope.
And yeah, we'll see you next week, guys. So look after yourselves. See you soon. Bye, 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 bye.